welcome to the what's in my iPhone portion of the video. Can we please take a moment to appreciate my setup? This is very much cozy vibes. I've got my candles, I have my cup of tea, we got the cozy lights. It's a vibe. Let's get on into my iPhone. As you can see, I have the iPhone 14 Pro, and I debated on whether I wanted to get the 14 Pro Plus or not, which is like the bigger version of this phone, but I decided against it because one, it was more expensive, and two, it probably wouldn't have fit into my jean pocket because for some reason women's jeans pockets are the smallest pockets imaginable, and I like to carry my stuff in my pockets, so I decided to get the 14 Pro instead. I had an iPhone 11 beforehand. I had it for just under 3 years, and so I was very much in need of an upgrade. I had about 64 gigabytes of memory. As a content creator and someone that takes photos and videos to pay their rent, it was definitely not enough storage for me, and so this phone has 256 gigabytes, which I am very happy about. As you guys saw with my case, it's just a clear one that I got from Amazon, and it came with a screen protector, and I've already dropped my phone several times since receiving it, and so I can vouch that it is a good case and it does the job. And just to customize it a little bit more, I used some stickers and a pop socket that I got from Korea from my trip a couple months ago. Starting off with my lock screen, I have a really cute illustration of a bunny, and this wallpaper came within like a widget set that I bought from Etsy, which you guys will see very soon. And one thing that I really like about this iOS update particularly is that you can change like the wallpapers really easily. And so of course, although I have the bunny one as my default, I also have RM because his Indigo album just came out and it's so good, like I can't stop listening to it, and he also just looks so good in this photo. Of course, I also have my bae Taeyong doing a little heart in front of Paris. Alright, now moving on to my home screen. So I was able to customize all of my apps and my widgets using the Widget app and also the Shortcuts app on iPhone. A bunch of tutorials online, but it's really simple. It's just kind of time consuming because you have to do it for every single app. For example, if I wanted to change the app cover for Netflix, I would go into Shortcuts, add a new app, choose Open App as the action item, click the app feature, find the app, downward arrow, add to home screen, and then customize it to the Netflix app, and then add it to your home screen. Once you do this for all your apps, you can remove them from your home screen. Don't delete the app, but just remove it from your home screen. You can always access them by swiping right into the app library. If you want to add a new widget, basically all you have to do is customize it based on what size widget you want. All I have to do is save it. And then once I go back to my home screen, if I click on like an empty space and click on the plus icon in the left hand corner, I can add a small widget and it will add RM to my home screen. This trend of like changing your apps really reminds me of back in like 2014 when people used to change their app icons, except it was like galaxy themed or Pusheen themed. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but it was like a huge trend when I was in middle school. But back then, I was also too lazy to change my app icons. So this is the first time that I'm finally doing it, and I'm very happy with it. Alright, so on this first page here, I have more of my day-to-day apps that I use on an everyday basis, like phone, settings, weather. I don't know why, but I check the weather app like 15 times a day, even when I'm not leaving my house. I don't know, I just like checking the weather, even though it's always wrong in Seattle. I use a clock app for my alarm and the voice memos app for when I'm recording voiceovers and I'm too lazy to take out like my nice Yeti mic. And of course I use the camera to take photos and videos. So if we go into the Photos app, I'll show you a couple of things in my camera roll. First things first being the omakase that I got pretty recently with my partner to celebrate our anniversary. But damn, these photos are crisp! Of course, I had to take a picture of every single thing that we ate. Guys, this was so good. I was literally dreaming about this last night. Sushi. I have some screenshots of my Spotify Wrapped from this year, which I'm not particularly proud of, mainly because of one specific artist. But other than that, not surprising whatsoever. It was pretty much the same as last year, except apparently this year I listened to a lot of Mitski. And of course we have some concert footage. This last concert that I went to was the Rose, and it It was so good. Woosung's vocals live were incredible, and I'm still not over this concert. On the bottom row, I have my most used apps in general. Obviously Spotify, Facebook Messenger, iMessage, and Safari. I have my fall playlist, which has a good number of songs actually, and I'm currently working on my winter playlist. I also love discovering new music, and so I listen to my Discover Weekly playlist every Monday when it comes out. There's always a couple of hidden gems within my Discover Weekly, which is why I love listening to it. I always get to find like underground artists or songs that I probably would have never found just like scrolling through Spotify on my own, and so I really love this feature about Spotify. Also, I listened to exactly 2 podcasts this year, Anything Goes and Emergency Intercom. I really like listening to podcasts when I'm doing like mindless work or doing chores and things like that, and so these 2 have definitely been my favorite this year. On the second page, I also have apps that I use on a pretty regular day-to-day basis, like Notes and Yelp. I also have Canvas for school, which I use whenever I want to like check my grades or even like submit an assignment if it's like a really quick one. I have all my payment and like shopping apps as well, like Venmo and Amazon. And my favorite app on here is definitely the Lime app. And if you haven't heard of Lime, it's basically like an electric scooter slash bike company, but I am obsessed with riding them. I'm really sad that I can't ride them right now because it's just way too cold, but in the fall time when it was warm enough, this is like by far my favorite activity to do, whether it's like with friends or honestly by myself. Like, I love riding electric scooters for some reason.
I would buy one, but they're pretty expensive, and also it's really convenient to just like leave it like wherever your destination is. I think I also have a really positive association with electric scooters because it was like one of my most favorite things I ever did. In Italy, we would get like a day pass for 15 euros and just scooter around for the entire day, and it was like one of my favorite memories from Italy, and so that's probably also the reason why I love Lime so much.
But moving on, last page of my home screen is like all of my fun apps, and also definitely the apps that I spend the most time in, like social media. I have this really cute widget showing like a photo album of TXT, and it just shows a random TXT picture from my TXT photo album that I have of all my favorite pictures of TXT. I also have CapCut, which is an app that I use to edit my short form videos like Reels and TikToks. I also use Canva pretty often, which is an app that makes graphic designing super simple. They have like a ton of templates that you can use. My main photo editing app is Lightroom. I also get a ton of questions on how I edit my photos on my Instagram, which is at dobochobo if you want to follow it. Even though lately I've been trying to keep my editing of the colors and things like that a little bit more minimal with my Instagram posts, I still love editing my photos with this app. Like, you can see a pretty clear before and after with my most recent Instagram photo. And I also have a bunch of presets that I've made that I kind of just rotate through. Presets are basically like filters that you can make on this app and apply to like your photos. I also like using Preview, which is basically an app that lets you see how your photos will look on your Instagram feed before actually posting them on your Instagram. And I just like to check this to kind of keep things looking at least a little bit cohesive. Then of course I have all my social media apps like Instagram and TikTok. I barely use Snapchat anymore, but some of my friends communicate through Snapchat, which is like the only reason why I still have it. I've also been really getting into webtoons lately, and so if you have any like favorite webtoons or webtoon creators that you really like, please give me some recommendations because I'm looking for some new ones, preferably ones that are already finished because I just like to binge read them in one night, but if they're not, that's also fine. And finally, my favorite app on this page probably has to be the app Cappuccino. I don't think a lot of people use this app, but it's basically a podcast app where you can make little podcasts for your friends. I have a specific group of friends from high school that I'm still really close with, and although we don't do it as often because we're really busy, we basically send each other 3-minute podcast episodes, which are basically just voice memos, and we go to different schools like across the country. Sometimes it can get really hard to even just like FaceTime altogether, and so this is like a really great way to stay connected and just like update each other on the small things, especially if you're like long distance, and I would recommend. Alright, and that is everything on my iPhone. I've been talking for so long now, my tea is sadly cold. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it gave you some inspiration to decorate your phone, make it all cute, support your local artists instead of downloading their work from Pinterest. But yeah, that's everything that I have for today. I hope y'all are taking care of yourselves, both physically and mentally, especially with the days being so short. I know it can be really hard to even just like get out of bed. At least that's what it's been like for me recently. I love you guys so much, and I will see y'all in the next video very soon. Bye!